Have you decided to have an abortion and you're wondering about your next steps? You're in the right place. In this video, you'll find information on how to find a clinic, what to expect when you go, and how to use the resources on my website, beforeandafterabortion.com. I'm Charlotte Taft. I have counseled with hundreds of women before and after abortion. I believe in you and your choices. That means I support you in doing whatever you decide is best for you and your life, whether that is having an abortion, having a baby, or placing for adoption. If you have explored your thoughts and feelings about your pregnancy and made a choice you can really live with, this recording can help you prepare to have an abortion. If you aren't feeling truly confident about your decision, I hope you'll invest a couple of hours in yourself and watch the first 3 recordings in this series, Before Abortion, Making a Choice You Can Live With, and then come back to this recording. If you are feeling really ambivalent, split in two, please watch the Woman Split in Two video on my website. Once you have made a decision, don't delay in getting an appointment. Remember that abortion is safer, simpler, and less expensive the earlier you are in your pregnancy. These materials represent my personal opinions gathered from years of experience counseling with women. Each person is different. No outcome is guaranteed. My counsel is not intended to replace the advice of your physician or any other trusted advisors. If you are suffering from emotional or psychiatric illness, depression, or suicidal thoughts, please complete this process with the care and guidance of a trusted counselor or physician. And please don't use these recordings while driving. Confirm that you are pregnant before you make an appointment. The pregnancy tests that you can buy at the store are just as accurate as the tests you get at the clinic. On my website, beforeandafterabortion.com, you'll find a section called How to Find a Clinic. Republicans who want to make abortion illegal control many state legislatures. They have passed laws that mean there are fewer and fewer abortion care clinics. If you live in a big city in a progressive state, you may have several clinics to choose from. Outside a city and a conservative state, there may be only one clinic, and it is possible that you will have to travel to get there. Some of the laws that the Republicans have passed require women to go to a clinic twice, even for the simplest of abortion procedures. When you contact a clinic, they will tell you if there are any special rules they have to follow. Don't blame them. They would provide this simple and safe medical procedure in an easier way if they could. These unnecessary laws that make it more difficult and more expensive for you to get an abortion are just part of the Republicans' goal to make abortion illegal for all women everywhere in this country. Each clinic is different and has different policies and prices, so be sure to have paper and pen when you call them. Clinics also have websites, so you can learn a lot about them by going online. Make a list of any questions you have so you can get them answered. The cost of an abortion and the methods used are primarily determined by the length of your pregnancy. When you hear the prices, it may seem that an abortion is very expensive, but compared to other medical care, it is actually one of the least expensive. But because of the political fights over abortion, funding that is available for other kinds of medical care is unfairly not available for abortion. Many of the women who need abortions are already struggling with money issues. Some insurance policies cover abortion, but Medicaid does not. If you need financial help, be sure to tell the clinic. They may be able to find assistance. Also, start thinking about how to get help from any friends or family members you can, as well as the man involved. Remember that abortion can get much more expensive later than pregnancy. On my website, there's also a list of frequently asked questions, including how an abortion is done, how it might feel, and why the embryo does not feel pain. Getting answers to these questions can help you feel more confident and relaxed about making your appointment. Each clinic appointment will take several hours. A lot of that is waiting time, so be sure to take a book to read. During the COVID-19 pandemic, everything is different, so the clinic will explain how they are making waiting times safer for you. Most clinics will want to know the date of your last normal menstrual period, so you'll need to estimate that if you're not sure. Once you get to the clinic, you will likely have an ultrasound, which can determine the size of the pregnancy quite accurately. If you're very early in pregnancy, the ultrasound may be done with a probe that actually goes inside your vagina. It doesn't hurt, but like other parts of a gynecological procedure, it can feel awkward if you're not expecting it. Don't forget that an ultrasound usually measures pregnancy from the date of your last menstrual period. That is the way doctors have traditionally measured pregnancy because it's a date most women know. But the most likely time to get pregnant is about 2 weeks after your period. That means if the ultrasound measurement says 9 weeks, you probably got pregnant about 7 weeks ago. You will have the option of choosing an in-clinic abortion done with a gentle vacuum aspiration, which takes about 5 minutes, or if you are under 10 or 11 weeks, a medication abortion where you take pills which begin an abortion process that takes place over a few days. With a vacuum aspiration, the abortion is completed in the clinic. During a vacuum aspiration abortion, the uterus contracts down like a balloon emptying out of air, so you may have cramping. Some women report severe cramping, but it is most often similar to a period and only lasts a short time. You'll likely have some bleeding like a period afterward, and possibly some cramping for a week or even 2. With a medication abortion, you take pills in the clinic that stop the growth of the pregnancy, and then additional medication when you get home that causes the uterus to contract and push out the embryo and the small amount of blood and fluid that have built up in your uterus. This process can take several days and is like the experience of a miscarriage, sometimes with nausea, diarrhea, and cramping. Some women have reported very severe cramping with medication abortion. If you choose this method, it's smart to have a safe and private place and someone who can give you support. It's probably not a good idea to try to go to work during a medication abortion. If you're caring for children, you may want some extra help in case you aren't feeling well. The anti-abortion people are claiming that you can reverse a medication abortion after it has started, but that is false. As with any abortion, do not begin it unless you are confident about your decision. If you're over 15 weeks, it is possible that the abortion process may take more than 1 day. Not every clinic is equipped to do these procedures, so you may need to travel. It is very normal to be worried about pain, but good to remember that any abortion is quicker and more comfortable than your other alternative, which is continuing a pregnancy. How you think about pain can make a big difference. For example, I'll bet you have a really cute pair of shoes that hurts your feet, but you wear them anyway because they are so cute. That can remind you that how you think of pain makes a big difference. Sometimes pain means there's something wrong, but in an abortion, cramping usually just means that your uterus is contracting back down to its normal size. You can make the abortion much more comfortable and easier by taking slow, deep breaths and relaxing as much as you can. Make a plan before you go to the clinic about what you would like to focus on for the few minutes while the abortion is happening. Imagining you are in your favorite place can make the time speed by. If you are spiritual or religious, remember that God or Jesus or Mary or Buddha can be right beside you in the clinic, just as they are with you everywhere in your life. They know what is in your heart and can see only love and you wanting to do the best you can. Whichever abortion method you choose, you will probably have at least one visit to the clinic where you will fill out paperwork and get information about the possible risks of an abortion. Blood testing to see if you are anemic and check what is called your Rh factor is also done. Everyone's blood type is either Rh positive or negative. If you are negative, you may get an additional medication which prevents problems in any future pregnancy you may have. When I was young, many procedures, including sterilizations, were done on women without their understanding or agreement. Activists worked very hard to make sure that a person would be given information about possible risks and complications and be asked for their consent before any medical procedure. The possible complications of abortion are very similar to the possible complications of childbirth. It can be uncomfortable to read about all the things that might happen, even though they are very rare. But this information is so that you have a real choice. There is a sample of a consent form on my website if you would like to see one. Even if the clinic doesn't require it, it would be very good to have someone you trust come with you to give you support. It doesn't work very well to have someone who is against your decision or someone who is pressuring you, so be careful about whom you choose. Often women think they have to take care of everyone else, and it is hard for us to ask for help, but you deserve it. Everyone deserves to have love and support when they're making such an important choice. One of the best ways you can stay safe and healthy after an abortion is to follow all the aftercare instructions. This might include making sure you don't have a fever, which could indicate an infection, not having sex or putting anything into your vagina for 2 weeks, not doing heavy lifting for a week or two, having a checkup and repeat pregnancy tests to make sure everything is back to normal, and calling the clinic if you have any concerns. This is very important because the clinic can help manage almost anything that is a problem. If you have any concerns, check with your clinic. The clinic will also offer you information and services for birth control. And birth control is more than just the pill. Go to my website and read the section on birth control to learn about all the options available to you. Remember that withdrawal is not a reliable method. After an abortion, you may have a period in a month or maybe not for 2 months. Your menstrual cycle is resetting itself, and you can get pregnant shortly after an abortion. If this is not the best time for you to be pregnant, be sure to protect yourself so you don't have to go through all of this again. Who do you want to be when you are at the clinic? I mean, which version of yourself will you be? In the last video, we talked about choosing 5 words that represent characteristics you would like to have. Words like courageous, caring, kind, gentle, wise. When you are dealing with all the complicated thoughts and feelings you've been having, it can be hard to think about anyone else. But remember, the people who work at the clinic go there every day, sometimes walking past horrible picketers, even risking getting COVID-19. They do it because they believe in their work and they believe in you. But they have a really challenging job, listening to all the difficult experiences women have and helping people who might be sad or angry or scared or ashamed. What would it be like if you really appreciated them? If you decided to be the very best part of their day? Many of the obstacles and challenges associated with getting an abortion have nothing to do with health care. They are all about the tactics of the people who want to make abortion illegal. They call themselves Right to Life, but over the years they have murdered at least 10 people, including several doctors, and they don't mind stooping to fraud. Although there are only about 1,500 real abortion clinics left in the whole country, there are more than 3,000 fake clinics. Places that look like abortion clinics and sound like abortion clinics, but are not abortion clinics. Places that are actually designed to trick women and scare them and confuse them and sometimes tell them lies so they don't have abortions. Even though no tax money is allowed to go to abortion clinics, state and even federal taxes have gone to pay for these fake operations. This has been going on since before abortion became legal in 1973, and the government has allowed it to continue. I feel very angry about this. There was a fake clinic next to the abortion clinic I ran in Dallas, and I got to see how they terrified women. When someone got confused and went into the wrong place, she came out scared that she was going to die if she had an abortion, one of the safest procedures that is ever done. So I know firsthand the damage these places can do. It is not always easy to tell the difference. Fakes often have names that sound like clinics, many times with words like Crisis Pregnancy Center. and they advertise that they offer complete abortion information and financial aid. They have people walking around in white coats designed to look like nurses and doctors, but they will not help you if you want an abortion. The best way I know to tell which is to ask very directly, do you provide abortion services? Usually a fake clinic will give you a squirrely answer about doing everything you really need. Be suspicious. Be sure you're actually going to a place that respects you and your choices. Sometimes these places do pregnancy tests and even ultrasound for free. Women who don't have much money might think it wouldn't hurt to use their services, but would you really want to go to a place designed to trick you? When you go to the clinic, you know that it's possible that you will have to walk past picketers who think you should have to follow their religious beliefs. Sometimes they are carrying gory signs and yelling at anyone who goes by. They have even been outside some clinics during COVID-19 because they're not smart enough to get it that they could make each other sick. They don't know you. They don't know anything about your situation. If you feel confident in your decision, then a few unpleasant people yelling won't change your mind. But if you let their cruelty in, it could make you feel very unhappy. If you let it in. That is up to you. If you're worried about this, watch my video in this series about ways you can get past those picketers with humor. Many women who plan to have an abortion wonder how they will feel about it afterwards. Really, there is no one who knows more about that than you do. How you feel after has a lot to do with how you feel before. It has a lot to do with what interpretations you make of what you are doing, what story you are telling yourself about this choice. If you tell yourself, I'm a good woman doing the best I can in a difficult situation, you will feel very different from if you tell yourself, I am a bad woman and I will never be forgiven. Doesn't that make sense? So in many ways, you are in charge of how you feel after. How would you like to feel? What if you're helping your best friend? How would you like her to feel? So much is up to you. Some women write a letter to themselves before the abortion about everything they have been thinking and feeling and why they made the decision to have an abortion so they can remember and have compassion for themselves afterwards. Some women have a hard time after an abortion, maybe because they didn't have a chance to make a decision they were really sure of, or because they allowed someone else to pressure them, or because they were very deeply split about their choice. Remember that it doesn't work to have a baby for someone else, and it doesn't work to have an abortion for someone else. Women who have an abortion to try to save a relationship often find themselves very angry and resentful afterwards. They haven't done what they know is best for them, and they often lose the relationship anyway. If you know deep down that abortion isn't a good choice for you, don't have one, even though it may mean that your life is very complicated. An abortion is designed for a grown-up woman, no matter what your age, the most grown-up part of you, who has made a choice she can stand up for and own. If you are in desperation, you are not ready to have an abortion. Take the time to find your center and make a decision you can trust, a choice you can live with. No matter how you prepare for an abortion, you may be surprised by some of the feelings you have afterwards. Being pregnant is a big deal. No matter what you choose, it changes your life. Most of the issues you were dealing with before having an abortion are still there afterwards, but it's not like a magic wand that puts you back in time. The process you have experienced can change your relationships, the way you feel about yourself and how your life is going, and your dreams for the future. It can be a time of taking stock. One of my dear friends told me that there is always a blessing next to the wound, a gift that comes with every difficult situation. We just have to remember to look for it. The gift that can come at this time is really making sure you are living the life you want to live. People who are against abortion will say that the abortion caused any issues you still have to deal with. But you know that life is complicated. Many of your concerns were there even before you got pregnant. The abortion is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. This is a great time to work with a counselor on healing and on creating the life you want to live. After your abortion, I hope you will care for yourself as if you were your own most cherished friend. Some women find it helps them to have some kind of a ceremony after their abortion, to set up an altar or write a poem or plant a tree. If you find that you have unresolved feelings after your abortion, it may help to listen to my video number 6, After Abortion, Living with the Choice You've Made. In 1973, the Supreme Court of the United States decided in Roe v. Wade that abortion was a legal right of any woman. Since then, Republican politicians at every level, from president down to school board member, have done everything they can to pass laws that make abortion harder and harder to get and harder to give. Their ultimate goal is to make abortion illegal again, and they may be able to do that because of the judges they have put on the Supreme Court. Even though most Americans agree that abortion should be legal, they have been able to do that because people sometimes voted for politicians they didn't really agree with, but more often because they just didn't bother to vote at all. It used to take a bit of energy and attention to learn which political candidates support women's choices, but these days it is very simple. Republicans at all levels of government are trying to make abortion illegal, and most Democrats at all levels of government are trying to keep abortion legal and accessible. Simple. Abortion is legal for you because of the hard work of hundreds and thousands of people. If you vote for Republicans or do not bother to vote at all, you are risking the chance that women in the future will not have the choices that you have now. If you want to learn more about how you can help keep a legal choice for women, watch my video number 11, The Politics of Abortion, How Can I Help? Just one more thing. Before abortion was legal, it was much, much more expensive than it is now. For example, in the 1963 movie Love with the Proper Stranger, the cost of an abortion, illegal abortion of course, was $3,300 in today's money, and often it was dangerous. It wasn't dangerous because it was illegal. It was dangerous because some of the people doing it didn't know about safe techniques, didn't have access to medications and antibiotics, or didn't know enough about antibiotics, anatomy, or the importance of sterilizing instruments. And it was dangerous because there was no way for a woman to get safe follow-up care if she were to have a problem after her abortion. In those days, the most effective way to do an abortion was to put something inside the woman. Today, we have medication that can cause an abortion without any instruments at all. That means the abortion method doesn't require a skilled professional to do it. In countries where abortion is illegal, women have been using these medications to do abortions for themselves. As it becomes more difficult to find a clinic in this country and more expensive to have an abortion, some women here have purchased medications on the internet or at stores in Mexico that they hope are abortion medications. We don't have any way to know how many women have done this and whether they have been successful. Here are some important things to know. There is no way to be sure if medicine you buy on the internet is really abortion medication. In some states, it is illegal for a woman to do her own abortion or to help someone else have an abortion. If you have not gone to a clinic to verify the length of your pregnancy, you may have a pregnancy that is further developed than you imagine. The medicine you may be able to obtain on the internet is not as effective as the 2 medications used in clinics. If you attempt an abortion and it doesn't work, you will need to figure out what to do next. Abortion is still legal in this country in every state. If you can find a clinic and get the help you need, I hope you will do that and not resort to the many uncertainties of an illegal abortion. But I also know this. Laws that are designed to make birth control or abortion illegal or inaccessible are crimes against women. We have always done what we have to make responsible choices about when and whether to bring new life into the world through our bodies, and we always will. I hope this video and my website, beforeandafterabortion.com, have been helpful to you as you prepare to have an abortion. Look on my website for other videos in the series. I wish you the very, very best.